Well, we are today here on the Bike Motion 2010 with our new world champion, Jose Hermida Ramos. Well, how do you like the Bike Motion?
Well, it's the first time I'm in Utrecht and especially motion, and it's a pretty huge bike show, and I think it's the second in Europe. The first one is in Germany, but as a country like Holland, it's typical to have such a big bike motion because it's a traditional in Holland to have bikes. So it's people is friendly, people recognize me, and it's a really good moment here in bike motion for sure.
Okay. And maybe for the people at home, can you maybe say what your personal life is? How is? Do you have got a woman? Do you have got children or something?
Well, finally, this year I became world champion, but finally I'm a normal person like everybody. So I started like 14 years ago biking before I made the skateboard. So I started in the mountain biking scene. So as soon as I started mountain biking 14 years ago, I started to get big titles like the World Championships under 23 or Junior World Champion also. But then the last years I was fighting also always to be elite World Champion, the Puppies World Champion. So finally I made it. I raced for a multi-van Merida biking team. It's a brand based in Taiwan. And of course, as you say, I'm more or less a normal person. I have married, I have 2 kids, and I spend half a year of my normal season. I spend half year around traveling with the team around the world doing the races. And now end of season with no competitions in front, I do many bike shows for promotion moments with Merida. So it's a busy time now, especially after my victory in Canada at the World Championships. Now it's a busy time for me, but it's with pleasure. With pleasure, I'm traveling around.
How does it feel to be a world champion?
Well, I don't feel different like before, especially. But in one way, I feel a little bit lighter. It was a heavy weight I had in my shoulders because I wanted to be world champion the last 10 years. But never I could make it, and then finally this year, with 32 years old, I got the World Championships Elite, and it's in one way it's a kind of freedom, liberation. I was working and fighting hard the last 10 years, and then finally I get it. So now I feel more relaxed, but I still have impression. Now I'm the world champion, so I'm the enemy #1 for everybody. So let's see. The next season is going to be important. 2011. I have to qualify for the Olympic Games, and then 2012 is going to be my big goal for the next years. It's going to be my big goal, the Olympic Championships.
Okay, and how do you prepare to be a world champion?
Well, this is not easy, and there is no formula. It took me 10 years to win the World Championship. That means it's not easy, and you prepare the World Championships, but it's not in a really short time, like 3 or 4 months. When you start as a junior, in one way you are preparing to be world champion when you will be elite. So in one way we can say that I was growing as a rider the last 14 years, and then finally I got the world championship. So it's not a formula that you can talk. You have to do this, and then you are world champion. It's really complicated.
So you are enemy #1 for the next riders for next year.
Yeah, exactly. And now before I was a friend of everybody. Now they look me as an enemy. But with pleasure. In one way, I'm gonna be the ambassador of my sport. And then the other question is, of course, I have to fight like a normal rider. The white colors, they don't bring you more speed. They just bring you more medals. But finally, I have to train like everybody again, and then start again from zero for 2011 season.
Did the Spanish people do a big celebration for you, like a natural hero?
Not really. In Spain we have so many heroes right now. There is Nadal, the guy from the football, Contador. There are many riders. But now I'm a little bit in the legend of Spain because this year, 2010 and 2009 was a big year for Spain. They win the football, the motos, Formula One. They win all kind of sports, cycling, Tour de France. So more or less, I'm one of those small heroes in Spain. That's true.
Is that not a big formula of Spain that everybody is now world champion in every division of sports?
No, I don't know. That comes like this, you know. Now Spain is one of the favorite countries for sports, and we don't know exactly why we are winning everything. But you know, sometimes it's the Italians, sometimes it's the French guys. They win everything. Sometimes the Americans. But now is the time for Spain to win everything, and you know, it's really funny that the small, more or less, is a country without such a high sport culture, because probably we are more famous for party than sports. So, but they are winning everything. So it's, something is changing in Spain for sure.
Well, thank you very much for this interview, and I hope you do well in next year, and I hope you be next year next world champion.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. See you next year in Bike Motion.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about the tool you are riding with?
Yeah, the tool we are using for winning the World Championships. So as you can see the Merida bike. This is a 96 bike. It's a full suspension bike. It has two suspensions, front suspension and rear suspension. The front suspension is a carbon suspension from the DTC's brand. It gives us 10 centimeters traveling. So it's a pretty light fork. It's a fork of 1 kilo 200 grams lighter, with a lockout in the bar. As you can see, we can open the fork and close the fork in case there are some rocks or holes or obstacles, downhills or uphills. So this is typical in our forks. Then the frame is completely frame made by carbon fiber, like Formula One or high technology. So this frame is under 2 kilos with a rear shock. The rear shock is made by DT Swiss. It's aluminum shock, also a special shock made for a 96 bike. And the rear part of the bike is also carbon bike. So this bike is 9.2 kilos light. That means it's one of the lightest, or probably the lightest bike in the market right now, as a full suspension. And that's the Merida weapon. That's the Merida weapon to win the races. So some riders in the team, they use this bike, the 96 bike, and some riders, they use the Merida 0.9, that it's only a hardtail bike. That means it's only front fork and rear part of the frame. It's only a carbon frame, normally normal and really light, but still it's only a hardtail frame.
Well, thank you very much for lighting the Merida bike.
No problem. Thanks a lot. See you.